Good morning, everyone. Today's speaker name is Dr. Dinesh Birla, sir. Just in after 2-3 minutes at 10 o'clock, Coordinator Ashish sir will introduce today's speaker, and further session will be continued. I request Dr. Ashish Maheshwari, sir. Please introduce today's speaker. Over to you, Ashish, sir.
Yes, sir. Very good morning to one and all.
Sir, please check your mic setting. Your voice is not much clear.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Some other noise is also there. Don't know from where it coming. But let me check. Some audience might have. Okay, please continue, Ashish, sir.
Hello. Yes. Now it is audible?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Okay. I welcome our professor, Dr. Dinesh Birla, sir, and all of our participants in day 3, session 1, IoT for FDP, IoT for Smart City, organized by Department of Electrical and IT Engineering, Government Polytechnic, Daman. And I also wish Happy Engineers Day to all my dear participants and sir. As we know, we are celebrating Engineers Day today. And this time the theme for Engineers Day is Engineering for Healthy Planet. And also our FDP is also in line with the theme, IoT for Smart City, as engineers play an important role in the development of our society. So I introduce our speaker, sir, first, Dr. Dinesh Birla, Professor Dr. Dinesh Birla. Is presently professor and head of the Department Electrical Engineering, Rajasthan Technical University, Kota. Sir completed his PhD degree in 2007 from IIT Roorkee and ME in 2000, Government Engineering College, Kota. and BE in 1990 from Government Engineering College, Kota. So he's having around 25 to 30 years of experience. So if I say the key responsibility holds by Dr. Dinesh Birla is that earlier, presently is heading a Department of Electrical Engineering and DRC chairperson, University Department Electrical Engineering. And earlier he holds like Associated Dean, remains a Registrar of Rajasthan Technical University, and as a special officer, administrative secretary to Honorable Vice Chancellor also. And he's published more than 35 research papers and guided 2 PhD and presently running 4 PhD students he's guiding presently, and 20 MTech dissertations. And he delivered more than 35 keynote speakers, invited talks, expert lectures in various conferences, seminars. So once again, I welcome Professor Dr. Dinesh Birla. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashish. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine. Thank you. So I welcome you all to this presentation. First of all, I thank organizers for remembering me on this occasion on your faculty development program jointly being organized by Government Polytechnic College Daman and AICT under Atal scheme. Well, to start with, I should say that I have compiled this presentation consisting of some part of renewable energy concentration, some IoT based, some initiatives for smart cities from the viewpoint of IoT, renewable energy. And I have not really included the theoretical processing of the techniques, but I have compiled the various processes which may be included in smart cities utilizing IoT and renewable energy concentration. Just a minute, I hold on a little bit due to some reason. Just there is some voice, in fact, nearby in the nearby area. Yes, please. In fact, due to some construction work in the nearby area and university, there is this problem. I hope my voice is coming now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir, for that intervention. So, first of all, I would say that about smart city concept, it is the urbanization which is an important factor here. As of 2021, there were over 4,400 statistical towns and cities in India with around 42 crore inhabitants. And at current rate of growth, by 2030, let us say our population will reach around, the urban population will reach around 60 crore, fueling over 75% of its economic growth. So it's a very important statistic, and we can appreciate how important the smart city concept is. So urbanization poses significant challenges ranging from climate change impacts, high energy consumption, and greenhouse gas emissions to inequitable growth, unsafe and degraded built environments, and deteriorating public health. So we can say that the smart city and urbanization, these are very important concepts. Community participation must be seamlessly imbibed in the process of governance. And to ensure all public goods from housing to utilities to open spaces to health and education services are made available in smart city concepts, so that these are affordable and accessible to diverse citizens without systematic biases. That is the key concept in smart city. So that is how we should have a basic framework of now I have told him, I have sent a message to stop it for half an hour so that there is no extra voice. So this is what we have under smart city concept. So in Ashish ji and others, I hope my voice is now audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry for that small intervention. I hope it is now over for some time.
No issue, sir.
In light of India's growing urban footprint, the initiatives in consonance with opportunities and challenges arising from this rapid and massive urbanization are to be met. That is a goal of the smart city concept. The choices made by the process impact climate change and energy use, not only for India, but also for the entire globe. With so much at stake, we cannot afford our cities to function in a business as usual manner. So cities are in a state of constant flux. Their systems face tremendous stress from both internal and external factors. Cities also have a crucial role to play towards achieving the national imperatives of economic growth and ease of living. For this Smart City Mission concept, which is an ambitious urban development program launched in 2015. That is why in the starting of this presentation, I emphasized on the urbanization. So, healthy urban environment is very important. Correlation between environment and our physical and mental health is well known. Urban environment suffer from issues of polluted air and water, poor sanitization, lack of green and open spaces, unhealthy lifestyles with noise, and information overload in everyday life. So resource conservation and regeneration, water, wastewater, energy, solid waste, then regarding infrastructure, buildings, etc., are all resources available with the city. And any resource that can be reused and recycled so that it remains in system as a resource, albeit utilized for a different purpose, has to be leveraged by a smart city. So that is what a brief introduction we all know regarding the smart city. So this is what summarizes the motive behind the smart city concepts to improve the quality of life, for economic growth, and of course making this process with sustainability at the top. Reduce carbon footprint through zero emissions energy. So we will be discussing various processes utilizing renewable energy resources and the IoT, etc., during this presentation within this framework. Now, it is imperative for India to manage urbanization well for cities to achieve their full potential on three important factors. The three outcomes mirror the aspirations of any city's residents, and these sense, define, understand the concept of a smart city within the livability, economicability, and sustainability. Livability is basically the quality of life. The aspects of social well-being that enable the citizens to live a clean water supply, safe streets and public spaces, public transport facilities for health and education, places for creation, and historical significance are all covered under this outcome. Quality of life indicators in the quality of life indicates the ease of living index of the Government of India, and it is an established benchmark on which a city can be judged how well it is performing in enhancing livability of its residents, and thereby what aspects of the city need further investments. Regarding economicality, these are the aspects which impact the city's ability to be a good place to do business and provide access to a diversity of jobs. Economic activity is primarily what brings people into a city in the first place. Sustained economic activity and investments are crucial for growth in incomes. And sustainability, we all know, in a state of dynamic equilibrium between natural and built ecosystems, this equilibrium has been severely threatened with rising temperatures, extreme weather events, deteriorating air quality, more frequent floods and droughts, and declining urban biodiversity. For example, each new street lighting that is installed or each new building erected affects this equilibrium in some way or another. Sustainability is affected by such human activities, and the state of urban environment becomes an indicator of what has gone right or wrong in the city. So under these aspects, we can appreciate that what are our targets to be achieved under a smart city, and of course utilizing the renewable energy concentration and IoT concepts. So that was what the basic outline of the smart city concept, and where the renewable energy and these IoT concepts fit there, and how we can be able to have the various accomplishments using these. So if somebody asks, how is IoT technology making cities smarter and better? So just a few examples. I would like to take from here. First of all, with IoT, because it is our basic theme of FDP. So the secure wireless connectivity and other transforming traditional elements of city life, like street lights, into next generation intelligent lighting platforms with expanded capabilities. So this is the first example comes in front of all of others, all of us rather, because this is the first, on the first glance, it comes in our mind first of all, to a common people. Using the street lights, what can be the transformations? So using IoT, then we have cloud-based IoT applications which receive, analyze, and manage data in real time to help municipalities, enterprises, and citizens, which can make better decisions and improve quality of life. So the scope includes integrating solar power and connecting to a cloud-based central control system that connects to other ecosystems. So we have the citizens engaged with the smart city ecosystem in various ways using smartphones and mobile devices and connected cars and homes. Pairing devices and data with a city's physical infrastructure and services can cut costs and improve sustainability. So the communities can improve energy distribution, streamline trash collection, decrease traffic congestion, and improve air quality with help of IoT. So we have numerous examples here using IoT, which I would like to discuss in front of you, using the IoT concepts. I think this picture belongs to Daman, rather Deep.
Yes, sir.
I hope Ashish,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
am I right?
I think it's a Suzlon area.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is what these two figures utilizing IoT in smart city. I've tried to be in the vicinity of your area first of all on this important occasion, and really appreciating the spirit of smart cities and the IoT applications. I thought it would be fitting to have the inclusion of the initiatives taken at Deep itself regarding the smart city concepts utilizing IoT. So that is what the smart energy, digital management of energy, smart buildings, automated intelligent buildings using smart grids, smart meters, renewable energy integration, smart mobility, low emission mobility. So the purpose is to go towards zero carbon or less carbon situation. Integrated mobility solutions. So that becomes things that makes things smarter. Smart technology is seamless connectivity, smart infrastructure, digital management of infrastructure using sensor networks, digital water and waste management, smart convergence, government on the go. So use of a health and healthy system, intelligent and connected medical devices, e-government, e-education, disaster management solutions, use of green mobility options, small lifestyle choices. So there are too many things using IoT we can do. So here the picture from Deep again. So Deep, which had been importing 73% of its power from Gujarat by 2018, is one of the cities in India to run on renewable energy during the daytime. I came to know that Deep has solar park which is spread over 50 hectares of barren land, and solar panels there are that can generate more than 5 megawatt annually on the rooftop of more than 100 government buildings across the smart city. So this data I have taken from some source, and maybe the energy generated range maybe somewhat 1 or 2 kilowatt come up and down with approximately 100 government buildings across the smart city. So this is a classic example of utilizing the renewable energy concentration. That they are now generating the renewable energy during the daytime and almost meeting their requirements. So utilizing IoT, we have got the various things again on a broader picture with more clarity of objects. We can see vehicle, asset, pet monitoring and controlling all here at the left bottom. So this is what the extension of the applications has been in the changed scenario. We have got the sensor node, machine to machine, wireless sensor network, time medicine and healthcare. In agriculture, automation is there. In building management there, the energy management. So using IoT, we have got even the telemedicine and healthcare. So no area is untouched. These are the benefits of IoT in renewable energy. So under these different points, we will have some applications. And then we shall discuss many other things. You can have a little look on this. That the applications are in automation. Applications are in cost efficiency, in grid management, in distribution system, and in residential solutions. With the aid of IoT devices, citizens can generate green energy in their backyards to meet their household needs. So now this is a combination of IoT devices and the green energy sources in the smart city, where people can generate the green energy in their backyards to meet their household needs. In distribution system, the sensors are there. Using IoT, we have got the monitoring of a large number of points in a distributed system. We are all belong to, let us say, to either electrical engineering or having good knowledge, good background of the basic understanding of electricity distribution. If we are from computer side also, because nowadays there is nobody really unaware of the basic concepts of the developments. So under grid management, IoT not only enables the inclusion of more distributed resources into the grid, but also improves the grid management. So these are the benefits of these. Now let us take a few things one by one. The applications of IoT in renewable energy production involve sensors that are attached to generation, transmission, and distribution equipment. And these devices help companies to monitor and control the working of the equipments remotely in real time. So we have got this particular thing in front of you. I would like to bring one picture, if I'm able to trace it at the moment. Yes. You can see regarding generation, transmission, distribution and consumption, residential, commercial and industrial, where I was just referring regarding generation, transmission. That applications of IoT in renewable energy production involve sensors that are attached to generation, transmission and distribution equipment. So here you can see for generation, we have got solar and wind farm, power plants. From here, having the power generated through transmission, we have got the distribution and consumption at substation. This is a control center. Distributed generation is there. Again, a substation. To the substation, from the distributed generation, we are having the energy, and it is going to the control center. And via control center, it is coming to our residents and other important buildings, commercial and industrial. So IoT has got the applications there, and the devices help companies to monitor and control the working of the equipment remotely in real time. So automation leads to reduced operational costs and lowers our dependence on the already limited fossil fuels. The use of renewable energy resources already provides a variety of benefits over conventional ones. This I have compiled in another file, and if time permits, we will discuss at the end this, if at all the time permits. The implementation of IoT will help us to utilize these clean energy sources to a further extent. We will talk about that at the end if time permits. Again, remaining at automation, the efficiency proves to be a major hurdle in harnessing renewable energy. So utilizing the automated concepts, we have this efficiency increased. A smart IoT solution enables the implementation of automated controls to improve efficiency with these methods of electricity production. And this is really important where we have got the resources which depend on wind and solar availability as far as the renewable energy resources are concerned, because there is a little bit or fair amount of uncertainty on the continuous availability. So the automation may enable us or will enable us to improve the available resources to the maximum possibility. So with the help of the controls using IoT, energy from renewable resources can be harnessed with maximum efficiency, what I want to say. An IoT device can help to detect the most favorable conditions for energy production. I did not elaborate on that. We can understand that utilizing the various concepts of IoT and other automated processes, we can achieve the maximum efficiency there, maximum output. The equipment can be adjusted accordingly to generate maximum output. And the major benefit of IoT devices is that they generate data in real time, which helps minimizing wastage. So an excellent example of automation using IoT devices in renewable energy is their use for monitoring and efficient working of wind turbines. So now here a combination of renewable energy resources working or the let us say the maintaining and making that operational continuously using automation, we have got there. The direction of the direction of the wind turbine can be altered for gaining maximum efficiency by analyzing the data generated by IoT sensors. Like wind, a similar application can be seen in solar power utilization. You can read this. And the direction of solar panels can be altered to be perpendicular to the energy source. Thus, with automated controls, the power plant can work more efficiently. And this helps to improve power output, to reduce operating costs, and to improve the safety standards. IoT also helps in cost efficiency, provides excellent tools for monitoring power consumption. Utility companies and electricity suppliers can get an unprecedented degree of control over their resources using IoT solutions. So these are the various application areas where utilizing the IoT concepts, how we can make them utilized to the maximum. This also provides valuable insights to companies to make data-driven business decisions. Power distribution companies can determine and analyze users' power consumption patterns using IoT-generated data. That is another way for cost efficiency. This can help the utilities to cut down on the wastage of electricity and save a lot of money, as it will affect their electricity bills. Then under grid management, by placing sensors at substations and along the distribution lines, companies can gather real-time power consumption data. So IoT technology enables to have the more systems included there into the grid in helping overall grid management. And these data can be utilized to make impactful decisions for voltage control, load switching, and network configuration. Network configuration means the structural changes which may have to be done there in making some lines or some parts of the network within the working system and some to be outside for some purposes, like including maintenance and other things, considering loads, etc. So sensors located on the grid can also help alert the operators about outages in real time. IoT also helps in many decisions to become automated. Including the real-time data availability. To turn off power to damaged lines quickly. So IoT helps there in that as well. And system can be efficient, automated, getting relieved from the human dependent. So this is the application in grid management of IoT again. In case of an outage, smart switches can isolate the problem areas automatically. So this is again relieving the pressure from humans, as IoT can intercept it very well. They can reroute the power to get the lights back on quickly as well in restoration. This results in saving previous time and human resources. The overloads can be managed for the transmission lines, and it helps to meet the generating plants to maintain their frequency and voltage. And this shall again help us in managing our infrastructure with regard to load forecasting, as the power consumption data can be estimated. And we are in position when to make the extension of our infrastructure or to bring the existing unit, the additional unit in addition to the existing. Then under distribution system, the smart energy grid is expanding due to the rise in commercial and residential use. So this increasingly scattered power system represents a major change for energy companies. So as the commercial and residential load is increasing, the grid is expanding, and there is scope for better control in distribution system. So the large number of small generators located across the grid can be managed, and IoT is there to help in this also, to monitor the vastly distributed smart grids. So it continues there. The sensors are there at multiple points, and they can help in the monitoring of a large number of points in the production and transmission outage stages. While using traditional methods, it is not possible. I hope my voice is audible, Ashish ji and other organizing team members.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, in case of varying energy demands, the IoT sensors react to the changes autonomously. That means there is a scope of the adaptability. That means the connections, related connections can be changed online according to the latest changing varied conditions. That's a very important advantage. And this can help to meet the precise demand in managing it nicely, because of the accurate information to be available there all the time, latest changing conditions. This also finds applications in residential solutions, because renewable energy implementation is not limited to utility companies, but it is being adopted at household level as well. And with the IoT devices aid, we can generate green energy at our backyards to meet the household needs. So this is, I think, nowadays fairly common, and people are tempted, or they have got the good attraction to have the things installed at their own houses in one form or the other, including the rooftop solar there. The customers can install smart devices in their homes or in their office spaces that measure the power consumed by individual appliances and devices, and they can use this information to identify waste and especially power hungry appliances to save on their energy bills. So this is really quite important and very promising to have the IoT used in various applications. So the topic of the FDP is really according to the modern theme, and the point of focus of attention to the common people, that how the various, of course we are not discussing the various IoT concepts, but we are discussing the applications, because we do not have the margin also to include the various IoT processes, but we can definitely have a compilation here at this level. What are the areas where the IoT can help us? In residential solutions, again being there, we have got the IoT devices such as thermostats, which can automatically optimize the operation according to the surroundings to reduce energy usage. So these are some of the applications. We will not stop here. We will include more processes there. There are some challenges also in using this. We have discussed the benefits, but it is not without its challenges and obstacles. One of the major issues faced in implementing IoT in renewable energy is the initial investment cost. So initial investment cost is a factor. Then if prices fall substantially in the future, IoT-enabled energy production devices can see adoption on a large scale. So this is a good point. Initially, things are costly, and when the application is there more often, and the demand is again high, the production goes up and the cost comes down. So IoT-enabled energy production devices can see adoption on a large scale later. Another challenge faced in utilizing IoT devices is that they are vulnerable to hacking. So this is what we all know presently is a very important happening. And of course, the arrangements of firewalls and other things are there, but still we have this under one of the possible threat. Solutions are emerged. We are minimizing. Since the devices are connected to a network, there is a possibility of a cyber attack also, if the network is not secured properly. There is a possibility of a cyber attack, we know, if the network is not secured properly, and this can lead to our unfavorable conditions to utility complete, as well as to residents. So some work is required and is being done to make the systems more secure. Now, renewable energy sources are the future of electricity production. So we'll discuss now some regarding the renewable energy. That technologies like computer vision, artificial intelligence, and smart energy provides for efficient working and managing the city's assets. And some countries are the leading markets in this implementation. The implementation of IoT in renewable energy production will play an important role in improving the dynamics for a clean energy source. We'll discuss more by some more examples during this presentation. And this is a positive sign for the markets to be there for huge business opportunities for companies which are dealing in IoT services. So that is what I hope some useful compilation for the use of IoT. Now, I've got a compilation for the renewable energy. This is regarding the energy storage. Again, we will come on this if time permits. Okay, so we were here on the smart city concepts, and then having the smart city concept and having discussed some applications of IoT, We are back again on the smart city concept. We'll just have a couple of minutes here. That population dense cities are obviously huge sources of power demand, consuming 2/3 of the world's energy and producing a similar proportion of global carbon emissions. So a question is there for the modern city authorities and planners and utilities. To have the various initiatives to be able to meet the energy demands. I have not again so far included the energy demand concept here. What is the energy demand? What is the expectation from renewable energy? This I shall try to cover at the end if time permits. So really thanking the organizers for giving me the opportunity to discuss on these issues. It is indeed a matter of pride and joy for me to quickly recount a few of the innovations in the smart city utilizing the IoT and renewable energy concepts. So this picture gives you a rough idea. Electric vehicle application is there, renewable solar PVC at the rooftop, online energy management, smart end use devices, transmission tower. We have their applications in there as well. In utility communications, in central generation stations. Distributed generation and storage is there. We'll talk now about these. The goal of renewable energy integration is to advance system design, planning and operation of the electric grid, which we discussed, and also of course a very important point, to reduce carbon emissions and emissions of other air pollutants through increased use of renewable energy and other clean distributed generation. Reduction on the city's impact on environment is important, and renewable energy resources is key there. Considering the scarcity of traditional fossil fuels in the near future, besides their ecological problems, the new smart grids have demonstrated the potential to merge the non-renewable and renewable energy resources into each other, leading to the reduction of environmental problems and optimizing operating costs. So this is a critical concept in integration of renewable energy resources. So the renewable energy integration focuses on incorporating renewable energy, distributed generation, energy storage, which is very important aspect, energy storage. Various new storage systems are coming. Thermally activated technologies and demand response into the electric distribution and transmission system. The integration of renewables such as floating solar and digitalization are expected to improve the value and economics of pumped hydro. Renewable energy integration development and demonstrations shall address the technical, economic, regulatory and institutional barriers for using renewable and distributed systems. In addition to operational issues, the integration also establishes viable business models for incorporating these technologies into capacity planning, grid operations, and demand side management. Microgrid and resources. I had to change the place, in fact, because of the some disturbance in the university there due to the construction work going on. I hope now that there is not much disturbance. Ashish?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope voice is clear.
Yes, sir. It is very much audible.
Okay. So this is what the microgrid and storage potential benefits are the same, but scaled for local services. We have got the various applications here. So the goal of renewable energy integration is to advance system design, planning, and operation of the electric grid to reduce carbon emissions, to support achievement of renewable portfolio standards for renewable energy and energy efficiently, to enhance the reliability, security, and resiliency from microgrid applications in critical infrastructure protection and highly constrained areas of the electric grid, to support reductions in oil use by enabling plug-in electric vehicle operations with the grid. This is a new development. Thus, clean distributed generation may be utilized to increase asset use through integration of distributed systems and customer loads to reduce peak load and thus lower the cost of electricity. This is what an application again. Utilizing solar, wind, geothermal energy, biofuels, hydrogen, biomass. We know the fossil fuels, oil, natural gas, and coal. Of course, we have got the much use of fossil fuels in the distant past, and now we using renewable energy. The use of renewable energy has really helped us in reducing the use of fossil fuels resources. The sustainable energy source, or the green energy source, or the clean energy source, or the alternative energy source, the renewable energy we know. This all includes the hydropower sources also up to 25 megawatts. So we have got the application of solar, wind, and of course biofuels. All organic matter is called biomass, and biomass energy is stored in organic matter generated by plants and animals involved using wood or crops to produce power. In future, biodiesel is also a prospect which can be produced from oil seed wrap and has fewer emissions than conventional diesel. It could be solid biofuel or liquid biofuel. In liquid biofuel, rather in liquid biodiesel, in liquid biofuels, we can have biodiesel, bioethanol, biomethanol, MTBE, ETBE, like that. And of course, under biogas, you know, the product of organic material, solid or liquid decomposition, mainly composed of methane and ethane. So things are there for utilization, and the prospects are too many. Rooftop solar energy will make smart cities, households self-sustaining in their energy requirements. Solar energy is also zero polluting energy. So we have got this application of available rooftops with net metering facilities, allowing excess generation to be fed into grid, and it will definitely fulfill the basic requirement of self-efficiency mission in green energy need. Not only the rooftop application is there only for solar. In other forms like solar street lighting, solar water heaters, solar pumps, solar traffic signals, solar concentrators based cooking, we have got the applications. in the smart cities of solar areas. There is a need for further improvement in efficiencies of solar production and smart storage solutions. Remaining here, the sewage treatment plants with biogas and power generation should be in the planning of smart cities. Promotion and planning of green buildings in smart cities with integrated renewable energy and energy conservation systems can save about 30 to 40% of conventional energy used in buildings. And for this, we can have the energy efficient green buildings on solar passive designs, which need to be promoted for smart cities. And of course, the motive is to have the zero carbon system of the future. All of the storage technologies are undergoing innovation to improve efficiencies and lower costs. New materials such as graphene and others based on nanoscale concepts offer the prospects for a new level of efficiency in supercapacitors and thermal storage. Now, supercapacitors in energy storage applications undergoing frequent charge and discharge cycles at high current and a very short duration storage. And under thermal storage, the heat is captured and stored in water, molten salts, or other working fluids for later use in generating electricity, particularly when intermittent resources like solar are unavailable. Not only the thermal storage, we have got other energy storage applications also, like flywheels, hydrogen. Then we have got the superconducting magnet energy storage, SMES. Which had got rapid discharge capabilities and useful in industrial pulsed power system stability applications on electric power systems. So there are many other storage techniques as well. And the local resilience with microgrids, it's a challenge to the traditional utility structure. But microgrid projects offer a glimpse into how local distributed energy infrastructure can improve system resilience. You can see this, that microgrid knowledge reported on a California farm that used its microgrid to remain powered for 10 days while wildfires caused outages was there, with the staff even able to operate the grid remotely after being evacuated. So this is an example of local resilience with microgrids. It is a kind of resilience that we are hoping to achieve within the city, making the cities smarter. And our numerous homes connected to solar-powered smart grid, giving the neighborhood the ability to run off-grid for up to a few days. And of course, it helps to achieve us the motive of less carbon emission and return of energy back to the grid. So that is why renewable energy is future. And future is to look to replicate microgrid success over the next decade and new projects across the cities which can make wage up in the business. So microgrid projects aim to produce a microgrid supported local energy market, giving residents with rooftop solar capacity to sell their access to their neighbors. Hybrid AC-DC microgrids comprising of renewables and hybrid energy storage arrangements consisting of supercapacitors for ultra-fast load matching and lithium-ion batteries for moderately long-term load buffering that already been explored. There are various kind of batteries available as energy resource. Electromechanical battery type include lithium ion, sodium sulfur, lead acid, and flow batteries. These vary in energy density, power performance, lifetime charging capability, safety, and cost. But we have got the various applications there of batteries, where the battery parameters, of course, can vary. The specific energy, the specific power, the energy density. But high energy and high voltage of lithium-ion batteries is an advantage. Of course, for lithium sulfur battery, is a slight drawback of poor conductivity and rate capability based on sulfur. But we have got the new batteries and the new developments coming there to serve us. So integration of more solar and wind power into the city energy mixage can directly power our goals to be more economically competitive, sustainable, and livable. So renewable energy helps us to achieve these goals. So renewable power is, if we say that it is one of the starting point for smart cities and utilizing the IoT concepts, we can be benefited much there, and things are there to come up in a large way. So as the energy industry is on the cusp of a paradigm shift, transforming their business models, many companies simultaneously are considering decarbonization pathways for their existing businesses to meet their energy demand from renewable energy resources. Now I shall talk about some technology-driven initiatives using digital technology, and of course this shall make use of our IoT-based concepts and other modern technologies. So the digital technology is a common enabler to employ in smart cities vigorously to solve urban challenges. So we started with the urbanization, and challenges are there in urbanization. And if most of our population is there in the urban areas, if the smart cities really has to deal with all the problems there to make the things in order to bring the quality of life, the economicity, and the sustainability as desired. Technology has to be regarded as an enabler by cities, subservient to the goals set by them. And of course, the digital divide, cybersecurity, data privacy are some of the problems. So what is there done? That the interfacing of items is through available networks. And the aim of smart devices is to share access information to from other devices for taking smart decisions by having the capability of being integrated into current infrastructures as much as possible. I think this sentence speaks everything, how the things are coming to be in shape in near future. And IoT is everywhere. The intelligent application of smart devices thus stands as a key element in establishing smart cities. And this is the solution for the complicated future urbanization difficulties to overcome in coming years. So to adopt service models like software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service to pay and scale on the go depending on demand and utilization trajectories. So this is the next generation technology-driven initiative in an improved way from the existing one. what really makes it to do, the data should be stored, governed, and managed. And technology is there to help us, as public data cannot be owned by a third party or vendor at that time, at any point of time. So we have got an example here. When I say this, to improve bus-based transport, it is to ensure that bus routes, bus stops, frequency, and passenger capacity, these all meet the demand and is data-driven. So this is an application of automation and IoT use. To be here back again, we continue with this, more on this, that passengers are to be able to digitally track the bus location, to have a common card for all public transport with e-payment. And all this data is to be collected and analyzed with other mobility modes to continuously improve the service and user experience over time. So this is a classic example of a known application to all of us. Similar thinking can be applied to, say, managing flooding with a 90% second blue-green infrastructure with a 10% additionality from a digital early warning system. So this can be there to manage floods. So once the technology to enhance the service is identified, procured, and developed, or rather deployed, the technology can be integrated with the Integrated Command and Control Center, ICCC, in the city. In a figure earlier, I had shown a control center. So the technology can be integrated with the Integrated Command and Control Center, ICCC, in city, if it can be there in the smart city. And setting up such ICCC center is helpful, and this will help to monitor the service better and help connect it with other convergent services or change in routes. So serving as the nervous system of the municipal ecosystem, an ICC center can help monitor city operations, assets, and resources, identify incidents and coordinate responses, and predict future trends and events for long-term planning. I will include some examples as well. Presently in smart cities, such centers are set up. They are equipped with high-resolution image processing tools, real-time video feeds, data integration, and analytical applications. And during the pandemic, the conversion of ICCCs into COVID war rooms proved that these are part of a city's basic infrastructure needs. So I have tried to have the latest development of ICCCs to meet the pandemic requirement and to combat the COVID like situation, to have the COVID war rooms at the time of need, utilizing the city's basic infrastructure. So this all having the IoT and other things. This is not only related or limited to current health emergency only. As machines are made to learn rule-based and process judgment-based information, we are able to use emerging technologies of artificial intelligence, machine learning in planning and managing cities. The world is experiencing a perfect storm of emerging technologies in areas like AI, machine learning, blockchain, advanced materials, etc. And these have opened ways immensely for the great prospects for our cities to solve problems in an innovative way. For example, a single-phase multi-level inverter with battery balancing has been reported, wherein any battery can be directly aligned into a separate inverter. Thus, the battery balancing action of the whole system can be conducted by regulating the voltage and by the aim of the minimizing the line losses of supply coordination integrated into sizable PV generating system a genetic algorithm-based scheme utilization can help scheduling of battery storage system, charging discharge in optimization. For example, if video cameras on a particular route capture an accident is there, then via the ICCC center, this information can be communicated to the public bus service to reroute and reflect in the citizen app for possible delays or change in routes. So this is a technologically driven initiative. Technology-driven initiative that using IoT, we can meet the emergent situation as desired. Then the technology-driven initiative that there can be undeniable video evidence to reduce the crime rate substantially, and it has already been implemented at Rajkot effectively using this technology in a smart city. In Kakinada, environment sensors have been deployed for automatic weather and air quality monitoring and lightning detection. Another example is from Pune, where we have installed flood sensors at key points using the IoT around the city to collect data for timely warning and response. So this is regarding automatic weather and air quality monitoring, flood sense. At Ahmedabad, the provision of free Wi-Fi on BRTS corridors has helped to improve the ridership. The tracking of buses with CCTV and GPS has been effectively employed at Visakhapatnam and Bhopal. Thus, it requires the correct technology governance frameworks, well-trained city teams, and collaborations with industry and academia. Several other policy and regulatory domains like cybersecurity, privacy, etc. remain to be addressed. So cities must invest in and build city data and technology cells with the right resources. Back again, remaining at IoT and other technology-driven initiatives, we also need to create shared platforms for secure data exchange, open data sharing, comparative assessment, and analysis. And our cities will have to lead from the front by improving further further. Continuing the utilization and help of IoT. So in short, we can say that the urbanization challenges, resource shortage, energy waste management, aging of the existing infrastructures, human health problems, etc. can be tackled by the IoT. The smart city idea has been the spotlight during last decade and is suggested as an optimal solution for overcoming urbanization problem by utilizing the IoT and renewable energy concepts. So smartness is nothing but it is the improvement in quality of life within cities and residents living there by utilizing ICTs. And when we say by utilizing ICTs, it covers IoTs. And when we say the quality of life is improved, then all the aids which help us in achieving these, they are in picture, including renewable energy resources. So by means of ICT methods and using IoTs, all the data from potable water, washing, flushing, agricultural, industrial consumption, etc., they can be collected, and through networks of sensors and smart meters, through grid data, we can have the smart working there, smart working grid. We have got the application in energy storage technologies also for smart cities. Now, of course, I shall not go into much details of the storage techniques, but I would like to say that the storage techniques, in fact, are connected with the renewable energy resources and the smart city concepts to bring the zero emission or less carbon emission situation. We have got the application for energy storage from lithium ion. Of course, a limited role for flywheel for low duration. A significant role for pumped hydro for few hours. Role for compressed air for longer durations, and hydrogen in fuel cells playing the major role for the longest requirements. And by 2040, we might have much more out of these, along with the other renewable energy resources, with more developers to have in the energy storage techniques. So smart cities are going to have, now not only the smart cities, the normal cities also are going to have much more inclusion of these things. And not only the cities, some few cities will become smart, but the entire urbanization and the towns and even at our village level and thus at the country level and all over world, we can have much more brighter prospects and better situations in the years to come. So looking ahead to a 2050 net zero energy system, the optimal mix of lithium ion for daily balancing, pumped hydro and hydrogen for the long-term requirements will depend on individual use cases, time requirement, markets, and other circumstances. We are heading for that era, going past through this middle smart city area and era. So we can say that employing the integrated PV power and heat generation, batteries for electricity storage, district heating and electricity systems, and intelligent control by power hub utilizing IoTs for energy consumption, production for optimizing the utilization of renewable energy resources more efficiently and reducing fuel consumption. The smart cities can have the massive transformation there in the quality of life of residents. The possibilities of employing photovoltaics, cogeneration setups, geothermal and hydrothermal heat pumps, short and long-term thermal energy storage systems, waste heat recovery from industry and smart meters. So the areas are numerous where the applications can be there. So I've tried to compile them at this place. And cogeneration units can be there. Renewables, we have already talked in terms of biomass, geothermal, solar thermal. This means that if there is any leakage at the system, it would be identified as a noise, and the rotating devices such as pumps and valves will function manually and automatically based on the sensor signal and ecological situations, and such leakages can be automatically detected using IoTs. So we have got the applications in so many areas. So we have got the energy storage as a part of power management, while power storage is engaged in the speed of feedback, frequency adjustment, and spinning reserve. So energy storage is opening a new avenue now. An interesting example of energy storage is the idea of engaging minor quantities of energy storage, let us say for 1 to 2 hours, on the feeders of residential zones. And the perception of community energy storage sets out 25 kilowatt low voltage elements guarding small building clusters. So I hope Ashish ji, if time permits, I can continue, or we can wind it up.
I think so we are having 10 minutes remaining.
Okay, fine. So we can have we can just discuss few more things.
Yes, sir.
So now I shall present two things. Few minutes, couple of minutes, and 2 to 5 minutes on renewable energy resources, and a couple of minutes more on energy storage techniques. This is our Mother Earth feeding us and has potential to feed us for years. So renewable energy resources originate from there. We all know the various applications here. We have got a compilation here that what is the position of renewable energy presently. This is just an example of few renewable energy resources. We all know wave energy, tidal energy, geothermal are also here. Everybody knows why renewable energy resources. So this is just pros and cons. But in fact, I am interested. Now I show you. And I want to show you the position of renewable energy resources. You see, by 2017, India's solar grid had a cumulative capacity of 20.11 gigawatt. I will include a few applications of solar energy again here. So with some applications of solar energy and solar energy generation by 2017, say 20.11 gigawatt. Then I've got the wind power capacity of March 2017 as 28.17 gigawatt. So just pay attention that in 2017 the solar was 20.11 gigawatt and the wind was 28.17 with some applications of solar here back again and some applications of wind here. The wind hydroelectric capacity of this renewable energy resource hydroelectric in 2017 again 40,594 megawatt or 40.5 gigawatt. So just have a figure 20.11 gigawatt solar, 28.17 gigawatt wind, 40.5 gigawatt in 2017 for hydroelectric. And at that time, in 2019, the installed capacity was 364.96 gigawatt. So in 2017 itself, we were having approximately 80 gigawatt from renewable out of the, let us say, it was 364.96 gigawatt in 2019. So there may be some less in 2017. But the point is that the renewable energy in 2020 reached to this stage with some major shares shown. So now you can see what I've tried in 2017. The solar or onshore wind renewable hydropower is shown in second column. Improvements in 2018 for installed solar wind renewable, it shown in third column, and in the last column it is in April 2020 approximately. Increased share shown. So things have started to improve. India is ranked 4th in wind power, 5th in solar power, and was 5th in renewable power installed capacity in 2018. This is the energy demand projection for years. So India looks to meet its energy demand on its own, which is expected to reach 15,820 trillion watt hours by 2040. So renewable energy is set to play an important role. And by 2022, the government has set an ambitious target to achieve 175 gigawatt from renewable energy capacity. And out of this, 100 gigawatt could be from solar capacity and 60 gigawatt from wind power capacity. And by 2030, the government plans to establish renewable energy capacity of 500 gigawatt. So that is what the position right now regarding the renewable energy plans. That by 2030, the government plans or aims to achieve 500 gigawatt. While by this 2021, we already are above 100 gigawatt in 2021. And by 2022, we have a target of 175 gigawatt. And this is not far off, as evident from this table. As the progress has been steady and quite promising from 2017. So having discussed this, as I told you, lastly, I shall have a couple of minutes on the energy storage technique.
Sir, I think we can conclude actually another session.
Okay. Oh, okay, fine.
We can have participants' queries.
Yeah. Okay, we then can conclude. I thank all the participants to be here, to be present here, to effectively participate by making their presence fully. So I thank organizers for inviting me. I hope participants may have enjoyed. I enjoyed, and I'm happy to present a compilation sort of thing using the IoT concepts and renewable energy here. So thank you, Ashish ji. Thank you very much. Thank you, your whole organizing team, your organization, your director, your secretary, technical education of your state, of your territory. So thank you so much. I also have a meeting in my institute soon to follow. So I'm also winding up. And if there is any query, most welcome.
Yes, participants, if you have any kind of query, then you can ask. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation. And in a very short period, you have covered many things. Thank you very much for your session.
Thank you, Ashish ji. Thanks to your whole organizing team, your all higher officers, and thank you. And I look forward to have more association in near future. Thanks to all participants for patiently listening, and I hope you will find this presentation useful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, participants, we are having our next session at around 12 p.m. Thank you.